we don't get some big revelation that your faith grows. It's in small little things that you experience this love and this faith and love of God. I was born in Donegal in Ireland, 1945. I had 6 brothers altogether, one of them being my twin. We were all brought up Catholics. The faith was a great thing in our family, and when I was 17, I felt the call to give my life to God in a special way and becoming a religious sister. Although at the beginning, I tended to ignore that calling because I didn't really want to become a nun. It kept persisting, and I thought, well, I will try. Then I entered the convent, and after about 5 years training, I took my vows, and I worked with the Catholic Rescue in Didsbury, looking after children. Then in 1976, I was appointed to Africa and Kenya, where I spent 32 and a half years there. I went to an orphanage where the children's mother would have died in childbirth, and there was no one to look after the baby. In their culture, if a woman looked after somebody else's baby, there was a taboo that they would have no children of their own. So they came into this orphanage, and we cared for them until maybe a year and a half, 2 years. And that time we would keep in contact with the father and the other members of the family. And then eventually, when the child was weaned, the child would go back home again. I remember the first year I was there, I think we had about 11 deaths of babies, which I found, tremendously hard to accept because I'd never seen a dead child. I suppose people talk about sacrifices we make, and I've never looked on it as a tremendous sacrifice because I've always been very happy in what I've done. I always wanted to serve the poor and try to bring hope to the very marginalized people. And I felt with being appointed to Africa, I felt that was what I was called to do. So after 33 years, I felt that maybe it was time for me to step back. So I made a retreat to try to discern if I was doing the right thing. And at the end of that retreat, I felt that, God is saying to me, maybe it's time now that, you took another step in another direction. And then when I came home, I was appointed to Rochdale. And that's where I've been since 2010. And then I heard about Petrus's, so I went to the head office and I said that I was willing to volunteer to do whatever they wanted me to do. I do three mornings a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. I go there at 8 o'clock and we start preparing the breakfast and tidying up and cleaning the toilet as you saw me doing it this morning. And then at 9 o'clock, the service users come in and we serve them breakfast and we have a chat with them. And you get to know the men, and if I meet them in the street, they'll say, "Hello, sister, how are you today?" And you have a cheery word for them. I know they have tremendous problems with drink and drugs, but I often think, only for the grace of God go I. That could be one of my brothers. And I try to treat them with dignity and respect. I had a very sad incident in my life. My twin brother was killed in an accident at work. He was only 21 and he was unconscious for 6 weeks. And in those days we weren't allowed to go home. Once you entered, that was it. And I was never allowed to go home and see him until the day he died. It really tested my faith. But afterwards, I think my faith grew stronger, that, Christ suffered, so this is part of my suffering. When you start your day with prayer and you think of all the love that God has lavished on me, then you can't help but grow in a relationship with Christ and your faith, and you want to share that with other people.